So now we're going to be looking at simplifying algebraic expressions containing square roots. So we've looked at it with particular numbers. Now we're going to look at the generic form with algebra. So for part 1, we're looking at the square root of a cubed. So this is equal to the square root of a times a times a. Well, we know the square root of a times a is a. So this is a root a. For example 2, ab times the square root of ab times the square root of a. This is equal to the square root of a squared b. The square root of a squared is a, so a root b. For part 3, again we've got the 1/3 minus another. So we know to do this, we're going to have a constant term if it will simplify. First of all, we've got some squared expressions in both of these. So we have b root a minus c root a. We've got a common factor in both of these of root a, so it's the square root of a brackets b minus c. Pause this, go back over any of those that you want to. For example, part 4, I've left in part 3 so you can see the comparisons and compare the similarities and differences. In this one, we now have a root b minus a root c. In the last one, it was what was under the square root that was a common factor. Now it's the sort of whole term. And so here we have a, which is a common factor, so we're going to factorize that out. And we get root b minus root c. Pause the video now, take down notes before moving on to the final example. So to expand this, we have a times a, which is a squared, a times negative root b, so minus a root b, root b times a, which is plus a root b, and root b times negative root b, which we can just write as minus b. So here we have a squared minus a root b plus a root b is equal to 0. So a squared minus b is our final answer. Again, pause the video now. So what we should notice is the similarities between when we're using algebra and when we're using numbers. That's a really important link to make. And also for this part 5, we should be looking at how this is quite similar to completing the square questions that we have done previously. Pause the video now so that you can answer these questions before seeing the solutions. Here are the solutions. Mark your work. Make sure that you fully understand each question, or if you don't, then make sure that you are getting feedback so that you do before moving on.